What up YouTube, it's Misery Hates Company. In this video, I want to help you get ahead of Alliance Raid before it even comes out, because we do know it's coming in the very near future based off the most recent dev notes. However, you can do things right now to get ready for it that'll put you way ahead of everyone else. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. First things first, I do want to mention that this specific part of the dev notes is why I'm making this entire video. So just to kind of fully explain that. So agents can participate in the Alliance Raid once a day per hero, right there. So the more heroes you have, the more participation counts you'll have each day. First off, I want to note that I know all of us, including myself, were very skeptical about them pushing squad development onto us, especially with it mainly just being for PvP. But this is a PvE and free-to-play option that will allow you to get more resources and or rewards from doing a PvE event with multiple heroes. Now, like I said, we don't have a firm date. However, I do have an inside source, obviously as a content creator for Marvel Future Revolution and being part of the Content Creator Corp. So it is coming in the very near future. I will tell you that much. But there are things you can do right now, like I said earlier, that you can do to actually jump ahead of it. And that, if we would jump over to the game real quick, the things that you can do right now to actually get ahead of the curve when it comes to Alliance Raid is plan ahead. So you can do it by, there's 3 things you need to consider for Alliance Raid when it comes to multiple heroes. So the first is obviously having multiple heroes at level 120. Now, this is a lot easier than it used to be because you have the Pegasus base, which is a whole lot easier. And if you're already doing your daily, or I'm sorry, weekly training grounds, you're going to have a decent amount of tickets from that, so you can actually level up alt pretty quickly. And especially with the next update coming, again, in the very near future, with us being able to actually grind XP from just mobs, which is a huge update, and I'm very thankful for that change. Thank you, Netmarble, for that. But the reason you want to have more people at level 120, because that's probably going to be the requirement for this new Alliance Raid, is to have heroes at max level. I think that only makes sense to us, but you want to make sure you at least have a few. So I've deliberately organized my heroes in such a way that of what I'm working on. And there's one in particular I think will surprise a lot of you. So obviously everyone knows that Magic is my main. Storm is fantastic at PvE. So as soon as we heard that Alliance Raids were going to be an option for multiple heroes to get multiple different levels and amounts of rewards, I knew Storm was my go-to. Number 2 on my list outside of my main, which is Magic, obviously. I'm still working on my Spider-Man. He's only level 116. I have a plan for him, so kind of ignore him for now. But I'll speak to more about why he's this high on my tier lists in terms of my development here in a second. I do have Iron Man as well as Star-Lord. And the one that'll surprise a lot of you is actually going to be Doctor Strange. I am working on a loadout video or a full build breakdown for Doctor Strange. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to want to watch this video. People are sleeping on Doctor Strange. And if built right, he is disgusting. Now, that video will be coming sometime this week, but it is going to be a doozy because I was very surprised by some of the things that I saw out of Doctor Strange. So he is going to be one of the ones that I'm working on as well. So once you have identified which heroes you want to work on, the other 2 things that you really need to work on and be cognizant of is your gear. So if I were to go over to my storage, obviously I have almost fully nanoed out Hydra gear, which is only good for PvE for Magic. It's okay for PvP. I've made videos about that. That's a conversation for a different time. But I also have a ton of gear that I'm ready to transmute off of Magic. I have a full set of Eyes of Osiris, a full set of Steampunk, one of which is already 6-star, and I'm almost have a full build of Rise of the East. Now, the reason that this is important and I'm bringing it up is because based off this new announcement from the dev notes that you can get rewards from PvE content for having multiple heroes. Now is the time to actually work on gear for multiple heroes, because now we know for sure there is going to be a free-to-play friendly option to get rewards, hopefully good ones. I assume they're good if it comes from an Alliance Raid that they've made it abundantly clear is going to be their number 1 focus. So my goal is actually to be, so of all this gear, I'm going to keep Hydra on my Magic. I'm actually going to transfer my Eyes of Osiris to my Spider-Man for obvious reasons. That's a very good special for him. I mean, he's basically God tier with that. It doubles down on one of his most powerful skills. And I'm working on a kind of special project with Spider-Man, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and double down on him when it comes to that. I'm actually going to keep Hydra gear on my Storm. I already have a full set there. I think 2 out of the 4 pieces are 6 stars already, so it's almost pretty in a decent spot. I mean, it's over 1 million power already. I think she's at 1.2, 1.3, I can't remember. But so you might ask, so in that case, Misery, what are you going to be doing with your steampunk build? And I almost have enough for like 2 full builds of steampunk. Believe it or not, I'm actually going to be using a full set of steampunk gear on Doctor Strange. Reason being, so if you look at everyone else's gear sets, you get attack, just the general gear sets. So like Sakaar, for example, you get defense and HP here for him. Magic, you get attack and defense pierce, and then you get like usually a skill. Well, when it comes to Doctor Strange, his regional gear, you get like attack and then HP or defense. So it doesn't feel great. Those aren't offensive stats. They're obviously defensive stats. In one case, literally, because it's defense, in the other case, HP, which is obviously still the defensive stat. And you don't really get to double down like you can on some other characters like Magic, where HP turns into attack, or Captain America, who you get to turn defense into attack. So he doesn't get to double down like that. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and use my special gear on him and keep my regional gear on my Magic, because she does benefit from that crit rate that I have from Hydra. Whereas again, he doesn't really feel all that great with the additional defense or HP. You can't double down, and I like doubling down. So, but you can obviously double down with the build that I'm going to be giving you guys on Doctor Strange with Steampunk. So if you want to see that, make sure you like and subscribe and keep that notification on, because that video is going to be so sick. I'm actually really excited about it to work on my Doctor Strange. I was going to make it like a secret and then just be like, oh my God, Doctor Strange is amazing. But like, I have to get you guys ready, and I don't want it to be a secret. I want you guys to start getting ready right now. So obviously we're talking about PvE when we're talking about the Alliance raid. So we talked about the heroes you want to work on, talked about the gear that you want to focus on, especially if you have multiple gear sets on a certain hero that you want to transmutate to a different player, or different hero. Start making those decisions right now. And then last but not least is your Omega cards. Now I know a lot of people are gonna be like, Misery, Omega cards, that is a lot, and it is. So it's a lot to double down and get the exclusive stat that you want. However, just focus on your main. All right, so my direction for your gear was to focus on getting unique sets for all the different heroes that you want to work on, right? Which is going to take time, but your cards, just get one solid set. And this is for my free-to-play friendly. Obviously the whales, whale out, man. Get your full 6 sets or whatever you want to get for your cards. Go crazy. But if you're free to play or low to pay, low to spin, whatever you want to call it, you're going to want to keep this in mind. It's okay to not have perfect exclusive stats. Is it suboptimal? Yes. Is it resource smart? Absolutely. So let's use my cards, for example. I do have decent cards that I'll use on some of them, but if you don't, but you do have the gear and the heroes leveled up, go ahead and throw your badges and your Omega cards from your main to whatever alt that you're going to be using in the Alliance raid. That way it's not so resource intensive on what you need to be successful in the Alliance raid. It's really just the gear and the leveling, which is, again, like I said earlier, pretty easy with the Pegasus base. So all you have to worry about is getting your gear sets. That's all I want you to focus on. Everything else will fall into place for you if you focus on everything that I talked about in this video. So if you found this video especially helpful, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to this channel, because I'm trying to give you guys the best tips and tricks to Marvel Future Revolution as soon as they come out, as well as sneak peeks to things that are coming up as I learn, as I'm being part of the Content Creator Corp and I get to learn new information. I'm going to give it to you guys as soon as it's hot off the press. Now, I want to leave you guys with one last suggestion. So we talked about, all the different ways you can benefit from planning right now for the coming weeks when we do get the new update. But I also want to mention that make sure you check out my full loadout playlist for all the different heroes, the full build breakdowns. We deliberately give you the best possible gear, the best regional gear, and this best free-to-play option gear. Because if you're struggling to get regional gear, there are some very solid options for free-to-play non-regional gear that can still do fantastic for several heroes. So use that playlist to your advantage. I'll put a card, where is it? Card at the top for that. Make sure you check it out. It's there to help you. It's not going anywhere, and they're very solid builds. I put a lot of time into all of them. That's why I'm still not done with all the different heroes, because I want to make sure they're quality builds for you guys. Last but not least, if you are a Magic main, make sure you've watched my most recent Magic build, because I've done a lot of different Magic builds, but this one is truly all inclusive, and it goes over all PvP, PvE, my cards, literally everything. So watch this video right now if you're a Magic main and want to get my most recent build. Take a look.